Bhagavad Purana, Canto 5, which is entitled, where is it? Okay. The Creative Impetus. And we're in chapter 20, the structure of the universe. Text 23. Yes. Then tomorrow is 24 to 20. I think 28. Yes. Okay, so today 23. Om. I had to say it already. Huh? Or Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Om means unto you. Namo means obeisances. Bhagavate. Anyone knows what Bhagavate means? Yeah, Bhagavan. It means the absolute truth. Absolute means, the truth or the fact that nothing else or everything else is subordinate to. There's a statement, interesting statement in one of the religions, famous, I won't say any names, but famous world religions, that the absolute truth doesn't exist. The absolute truth doesn't exist. So, how can that be true then? If the absolute truth doesn't exist, must be a lie. Anyway, so we say the absolute truth does exist, and it doesn't have any other origin. It's the origin in itself, and all other truths are subordinate to Him. We say it's a male, He is the pleasure giver, and everything else is the pleasure receiver. Like that. So Bhagavate, I offer my humble obeisances to the Absolute Truth, who appeared as Vasudev, as the son of Vasudev. So the Absolute Truth, being the origin of everything, from whom everything emanates and who attracts everything, also appears within His creation, within His energy. Like that. So it's very astonishing that the origin of everything appears within His own creation. That means He's a person, or He's conscious. He's not impersonal. Otherwise, how could He appear within His creation as a person? Like that. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya reminds us of this fact. Very powerful mantra. So the personal aspect is superior to the impersonal aspect. And the personal aspect can manifest itself within the impersonal aspect. Srila Prabhupada makes the example of a glove. A glove in itself is dead matter. It's impersonal. But as soon as the hand goes in, then it is conscious. The conscious energy comes. The glove in itself, material energy, is unconscious or inconscious. But when the conscious hand of the person goes in, then the glove becomes conscious and he can do things, right? He can execute things like that. So this conscious energy is superior to the unconscious energy. Like that. It's a big topic, of course, in India. A lot of philosophers say that the unconscious energy is the origin, and that from there consciousness arises, which doesn't make much sense. It's like saying that from darkness, light appears. It's weird. Or from ignorance, knowledge appears. Strange. It's not our experience that from somebody who doesn't know anything, suddenly or from darkness, then you combine the darkness somehow, then it becomes light. Doesn't make any sense. Darkness is an absence of light. And matter is an absence of consciousness. And ignorance is an absence of knowledge. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Sisi Gonitai Ki Jai. So like that. So the Supreme Truth is conscious and appears as the son of Vasudeva. He might appear to us like an ordinary human being, but that doesn't mean that he's an ordinary being. Vasudevaya. So within that small mantra, basically the whole philosophy is in what do you call it? Summarized, like that. So any questions? Class is finished. All right, let's start with this verse. Can you see it on your phones? Yes. So, Canto 5, Chapter 20, The Structure of the Universe. Text 23. Apaha Purusha Viryaha Sta Punantihi Bhurbuva Suva Ta Naha Punitamiva Gnihi Sprishatam Atmana Bhuva Iti Apapurusha Viryasta Punantir Bhuva Suva Tana Punitamivagni Sprishatam Atmana Bhuvaiti Apapurusha Viryasta Punantir Bhuvasuva Tana Punitamishagni Sprishatam Atmana Bhuvaiti. Please chant. Apapurusha Viryasta Sprishatam Atmana Bhuvaiti. Apapurusha Viryasta Punantir Bhuvasuva Tana Punitamivagni Shatam Atmana Bhuvaiti. Any words that you can recognize?
Virya.
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 But yes. Do you know what Virya means?
Strong man. Man, strong, strength. No?
Virya means opulence as well, yeah.
What?
Opulence, yeah. One of the 6 opulences of Krishna is strength. But Virya in itself means opulence, yes. Anything else?
Purusha.
Purusha, yes.
Supreme personality of God.
It means a person, yes. Person, Purush, sounds very similar, right? Another one of these words that the Latin and the Sanskrit are very close. Anything else? Atmana, very good. In the verse it means by your constitutional position. So Atma means the self, right? The real constitutional position. It can also mean the mind or the body. But of course, the original self is the soul. Atma, like we said the last time, I explained Atma, Atmos in Greek. Atmos. And then we have, in modern language, we have the word atmosphere. The surroundings, the sphere. Sphere means like ball, or a sphere is the original word for, in geometry, for, what is that called in English? Kugel, German Kugel. A ball, yeah. A sphere, yeah. So atmosphere, the ball, or what surrounds the soul, the atmos. So when we get closer to a person, there's an atmosphere, right? The planet has an atmosphere, but also a person has an atmosphere. So yes, Atmana. Also a word that you see a lot is iti, which is like to give more emphasis. Thus, that's the translation here. Then the Vedas, the Sanskrit was to give more emphasis, and it says iti, certainly, thus, like that. Okay, please repeat. Apaha, O water, Purusha Viryaha, endowed with the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Endowed with the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Sta, you are.
You are.
Punantihi, sanctifying. Bu, of the planetary system known as Bu.
Of the planetary system known as Bu.
Bhuvaha, of the Bhuva planetary system. Suvaha, of the Svaha planetary system. Taha, that water. Naha, of us. Punita, purify. Amivagni, who destroys sin. Sprishatam, of those touching. Atmana, by your constitutional position. Bhuvaha, the bodies. Iti, thus. Okay, translation. The inhabitants of Kraunchadvip worship with this mantra. O water of the rivers, you have obtained energy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore you purify the three planetary systems known as Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka and Svarloka. By your constitutional nature, you take away sins, and that is why we are touching you. Kindly continue to purify us. Okay, these are 7 rivers which were mentioned in a verse before. I'll just read that verse, or those 2 verses, so we get the what is that called? Context. The sons of Maharaj Gritaprishta were named Ama, Madhuruha, Megaprishta, Sudama, Brashishta, Lohitarna, and Vanaspati. In their island there are 7 mountains, which indicate the boundaries of the 7 tracts of land. Not treats of land. Tracts of land. And there are also 7 rivers. The mountains are named Shukla, Vardhamana, Bhojan, Upabarhina, Nanda, Nandana, and Sarvatobhadra. The rivers are named Abhaya, Amritauga, Aryaka, Tritavati, Rupavati, Pavitravati, and Shukla. The inhabitants of Kraunchadvip are divided into 4 castes called the Purushas, Rishabhas, Dravinas, and Devakas. Using the water of those sanctified rivers, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by offering a palmful of water at the lotus feet of Varuna, the demigod who has a form of water. Now, text of today. The inhabitants of Kraunchadvip worship with this mantra. O water of the rivers, you have obtained energy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore you purify the 3 planetary systems, known as Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Svarloka. By your constitutional nature, you take away sins, and that is why we are touching you. Kindly continue to purify us. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.4, Bhumir apo nalo vayu, kammano buddhirevacha, ahankara itiyame bhinna prakritir ashtadha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, all together, these 8 comprise my separated material energies. The energy of the Lord acts throughout the creation, just as heat and light, the energies of the sun, act within the universe and make everything work. The specific rivers mentioned in the Shastras are also energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and people who regularly bathe in them are purified. It can actually be seen that many people are cured of diseases simply by bathing in the Ganges. Similarly, the inhabitants of Kraunchadvip purify themselves by bathing in the rivers there. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshur Umilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So this material universe is just actually the unconscious, impersonal energy of the Lord, right? And by the presence of the conscious energy, there's different energies. It's not just all one. Yes, Krishna is one, but he expands into different aspects, energies. So there's the impersonal energy, the personal energy. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned so many times, it's like the fingernails. They are, when you cut the fingernail, you don't feel pain. When you cut your hair, you don't feel any pain. It's part of the body, but it's external energy. Whereas if you cut your finger, then that's a problem. You feel pain, right? It's connected more intimately, you could say, with you. So there's different energies at hand. Just like the glove and the hand that goes in. And this material energy is a combination. and of impersonal energy up, like here, the famous verse of Bhagavad Gita. There's a famous verse besides that one that it is mentioned here by Prabhupada. It says that the conscious energy, the living entity, there's two energies, right? The living entity and the material energy. And the conscious energy is superior, and it exploits. The word used is exploit. Yeah. Like it extracts pleasure. It tries to enjoy. It's like our position. You see, in this world, we try to enjoy this impersonal energy, which is also, both energies are actually considered female. Krishna, from him comes the impersonal energy. Well, shall we call it the matrix, right? In modern language, we call it the matrix. And then there's the personal energy, the living entities, which are also female. They're also pleasure receivers. And they try to, because they're not connected with Krishna directly, they try to exploit the other female energy, which is an expansion of Radharani. Srila Prabhupada explains further in the Bhagavatam that Krishna, we are servants of Krishna. We're supposed to give pleasure to him, and he's giving pleasure to us. But for some reason or another, we've decided to enjoy Radharani, the female pleasure energy. And this female energy, Krishna, transforms it into the material energy to give the living entities the opportunity to exploit, to enjoy Lakshmi. Also, Prabhupada explains that the material energy is an expansion of Lakshmi. And that's what everybody is hankering. Lakshmi, Lakshmi, Lakshmi. Not just in the form of money, but also in the form of pleasure. Right? So we've taken artificially this position of the enjoyer of Krishna. We want to be God and enjoy the female energy. We are actually female energy. Spiritually, we're female energy. God is giving us pleasure. But we've decided to become God and enjoy the female energy. So Krishna gives us this positioning in Bhagavad Gita. You will find the Purusha and the Prakriti. So in this material world, we are trying to be Purusha, the original person who enjoys the material energy, which is called Prakriti, or expansion of Lakshmi. So that's what we're looking for. Pleasure, right? Running here and there. More money. Who's going to be the next trillionaire in the world, right? I think they're very proud to announce that, what's his name? Elon Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk is now, how is it, 700 billion, I think. He's almost there. Only a few more years and he's going to be there. Right? The first trillionaire. It's all over the news, all over, Fame, we're after fame. Who has won more matches, in some insignificant, ridiculous sport. Who has won more, who is better. Sport can be good for your health, okay. But it goes always into this hankering, right? So Elon Musk, is going to be the next trillionaire. But if you actually look at the wealth that these empires had in the past, like Roman empires, English empires, the most rich was Genghis Khan, the Mongolian Empire. He was, a trillion wasn't even, in those days, of course it was only billions, but if you transform it into modern, what's it worth today, he had I think tens of or hundreds of trillions of dollars from all the land he had conquered and the taxes he was getting. He was much more rich than Elon Musk will be ever, with all these, the opulence he had. So what to say of Yudhishthira? For example, Yudhishthira Maharaj, 5,000 years ago, he said his opulence surpassed the heavenly planets and even the Vaikuntha planets. Now this is almost unimaginable. How can you in a material, world be more opulent than the highest planet in this universe? I mean, Brahmaloka, you can't even imagine. But it says, by Krishna's grace, Maharaj Yudhishthira, he was, after the Rajasuya Yagya especially, he had made this Yagya where he wanted to show the universe that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you read the Krishna book, Maharaj Yudhishthira was keen to do the Rajasuya sacrifice, which is like, you have the Brahmins and they offer all these kind of oblations into the fire, and you give charity. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was just there, and he wanted to show. So that's where this whole pastime came up, where who is going to be the principal person to worship in this sacrifice. And Brahma was there, Shiva was there. Can you imagine like a sacrifice on this worldly planet? And then you could see the demigods actually attending the sacrifice in the sky. And then the leaders of all the different planets, even from the hellish planets, would come and be part of the sacrifice. Nagaloka, the head of the Nagas, of the serpents in the hellish planets, was there. And it's like amazing to read the whole thing. And then, of course, Yudhishthira Maharaj, actually he didn't make the point, he made his brother make the point, Sahadev, that Krishna is the person that should be worshipped here. And most of the participants agreed, but some not. And then Shishupal was one of them, and Krishna killed him. He was, contaminating the sacrifice with his insults, and Krishna killed him, take him out before it gets worse, right? So the point is, Yudhishthira Maharaj's opulence was just unimaginable. Even the demigods would be astonished by his opulence, and he was a human being. In a human body. So Krishna can make anything possible. That's the point. A devotee of Krishna, there's no limit to what he can do. If that conscious energy, surrenders back and accepts its position as a servant, not to exploit the material energy, but actually to serve Krishna, to use Lakshmi in Krishna's service, use the material energy in Krishna's service again, then there's no limit to what can happen in this world. It's like we use Krishna's energy, microphone, books, paper, instruments, made of the impersonal energy, you could say, of Krishna, but we use it in his service. And it's simply, opulence simply manifests if we do that properly. If we actually do that with devotion and surrender, especially our soul to Krishna again, and say, okay, how can I do this? What can I do for you? Then the situation is rectified. And within this same body, the body you have now, you can actually be re-established within your constitutional or correct position. It's not that you have to wait, now we're so contaminated, so low, Prabhu, I'm the lowest of the low. No. You, in this same life, can become a perfect, pure servant, lover of God. And your body, made of material energy, can become spiritual energy. And you can be situated within your constitutional position, within this same world. Like that. Because, just like the Prabhupada gives the example, it's like iron put into the fire. When you put iron in the fire, it becomes red hot. Right? And it's not different from fire. It is iron, but it's not different from fire. So the material energy used in the service of Krishna, of God, of the original Purusha, becomes spiritualized. And don't see it otherwise. We sing every day, Shakshat Daritvena Samasta Shastrai. In all the scriptures it is said that the spiritual master is none different from God. He's the representative of God. But you should see him as none different. Shakshat, direct. It's not, oh, he's a representative, he's like a watered down version of God. No. He's as good as the fire. The iron is red hot. It's as good as the fire. Don't see it otherwise. And if you take the iron out of the fire and it becomes cold again, then of course he's not Guru anymore. But Guru is not different from Krishna when he's properly situated. Don't see it otherwise. It's a big... in the Christian church, of course, it was a big challenge, a big quarrel amongst the leaders of the Christian church. Was Jesus human or was he divine? And they split. They split into Roman Church and the Catholic Church, and then, what is it called? The Orthodox. No. Protestantism came later. That's the Orthodox that is now found still in Constantinople, or, well, today it's Istanbul, but it became Constantinople. So they split. There was a split in the Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox. Why? One side said Jesus was human. He was a human being. And the other said Jesus was divine. So the spiritual master takes time sometimes to understand the position, but he's divine. He's divine. Deva comes from the word deva, divine. He's God, representative of God. He's as good as God when he's properly situated. He can appear to you, and he appears as a human being. He can appear to you made of, blood and flesh and all that. But because he is always absorbed in thought and always dedicated to the mission of God, he's very dear, and you shouldn't take him as an ordinary human being. Or just, he's just an advanced devotee, and he's a little bit further ahead than I am, and I'm learning from him. No, it's directly God talking to you. As I said, when he's properly situated, there's no difference between God talking to you and him talking to you, or her. Hopefully, it's going to be confirmed that women, they were authorized to be Diksha Gurus in ISKCON. So yeah, him or her, whatever. Because the Guru is beyond the body. Right? It comes from Krishna. And there's different levels of Gurus, of course. Guru basically means the representative of Krishna. the one who repeats the message, right? The one who repeats the message. So if a small child says, "This is Srila Prabhupada," is he speaking the truth or is he speaking a lie? Points to the Murti of Prabhupada and says, "This is Srila Prabhupada." Is he speaking the truth or a lie? Truth. So he says, "This is a chair." Doesn't know what a chair really means, but says, "This is a chair, this is..." So maybe a small child is not, very well versed in the Vedas, but because it's repeating the message of God, it is Guru. And don't see it otherwise. Of course, there's different levels. It's not that we take a child, whatever the child says, as divine instruction from God. The child might 95% or I don't know, speak so much things that don't make any sense. But when it repeats the message of Krishna, then it is Guru. So we have Vartmana Pradarshaka Guru, the Guru that shows us the path towards Krishna. We have the Shiksha Guru, the Guru that instructs us. And then the Guru who initiates us, who helps us advance quicker. And where Krishna accepts us on the same level as himself through the Diksha Guru. Like that. So yes, when the spiritual energy is used fully into the service of the Purusha, then we go back to our constitutional position within this same body, and we're already liberated within this same body. We're not, you can't consider a person who is 100% engaged in the service of Krishna, following the process, the instructions of the spiritual master. You can't say, well, okay, does it really matter how much advanced he is if he's 100% engaged in Krishna's service? He's to be taken seriously, definitely. And it's a matter of time. Maybe it's the same fruit, might be still a little green. It's a matter of time until it ripens, if he sticks to the program, to the principles. And if you stop sticking to the principles and the program, then yes, that's not pure anymore. That's not Guru anymore. If he starts talking all kinds of nonsense. But as long as you're following the process, you're in the shower, as we say. You're showering. The mercy is cleansing you. Doesn't matter how dirty you were before. If you're showering, then it's a matter of time before you become pure. And if you're repeating the message, so Prabhupada kept it very simple. If you repeat the message of Krishna, then you are Guru. Doesn't matter if you're a new devotee or a devotee of I don't know how many lifetimes. Doesn't matter. If you purely repeat the message, then that is pure. Okay, anything else? Any questions? I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. 15. There was no questions. That's
Yeah,
nice.
good.
It's coming. Is it okay, like, she will clean the temple in the afternoon at 2? She told me it's okay, you can clean it anytime you want, because I have to go to see my mother, because I will leave my
Yeah,
house.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you so much. I will eat, I will do the kitchen.
go somewhere, so yeah.
Yes, you can stop there.
I will just, you know, clean the floor